Hello, everybody. My name is Roy Nemmer of MundoAlbiceleste.com. I am joined once more by the one, the only Cero Garcia, Sebastian Garcia. How are you today?
Hello, how are you? How is everyone? We're going live, so this is a new feature for us. It's a new experience, but here we are to talk about everything that we just saw in the game against Chile.
Absolutely. It was an emotional game. I mean, at least during the national anthem, and prior to that, obviously there was the Diego Maradona statue outside of the stadium, which was a very, very nice touch. But as usual, even from the dead, FIFA have something against Diego because they wouldn't allow Argentina to play with the shirt, right, the tribute shirt.
Yeah, there were a lot of rumors saying that Argentina were going to play anyway with a image of Diego in the shirt, which would have been really very much like Diego would have wanted, like going against the law, against the rules. In this sense, the FIFA rules. In this case,
Yeah,
it wasn't to be, which is but it was emotional, as you said. I think there should be 10 statues of Diego for every province in Argentina, everywhere. So it was the first time Argentina play after Diego uh,
passed
entered
away.
immortality. He was already immortal, but officially entered immortality. And yeah, I think that set the tone
We are,
for the game.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And we have Gorab, who says hello. Hello, Gorab. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for dropping by. Hope you enjoyed the match. But no, absolutely, absolutely. And we're gonna get to all these comments. We're getting some comments already showing up. We're lacking creativity going forward. So a lot of stuff to discuss, Seba. Let's get to the match. Let's get to the starting 11. What did you think of the 11 when you first saw it?
Well, first thing I thought was Romero was included. And I remember when we did the preview, we criminally forgot to mention him. We
I,
were
I was
trying to see if the
I
readers
was
were paying attention, and they were. Yeah,
Yeah, I was leaving Romero for the Colombia match, to be honest. I didn't think he
yeah,
would start this one.
yeah,
But good thing he did.
yeah. It was a nice surprise. It was a big week for him. He was named in the starting the best team in Serie A, like
Serie A
high,
MVP, the defender.
yeah, yeah. And then he gets his first start for Argentina, and to me, he was immense tonight. I didn't feel like it was his debut. He looked like a
Oh,
seasoned veteran, composed. There was a tackle he did with a back heel in the first half. That was amazing. I think it was a very encouraging debut for him. Would like to hear what. Oh, there's John from
we
Malaysia.
have
Hey,
yeah, we
uh,
have some fans. Yes, we have some people in the chat.
yeah, the Mundo family getting together. But
Yes.
yeah, I would like to hear more about what the readers and the viewers thought of Romero and his debut. But to me, he was immense.
He was huge. We have here Big Ass. He says, "My boy Christian Romero, what a defender! Absolutely, he that tackle in the first half. I saw that, and because Cuarta Martinez was left for dead, and then that tackle, and he just like you said, he had that. You wouldn't tell it was his first match.
Yeah,
In no way was that his first match, and ironically enough, for me, he was our best defender.
yeah.
He was our best defender. He kept it in the second half, moving forward. Everything, just absolutely solid by Romero.
Yeah, I would think the only thing uh, in, that I saw from him that I didn't like was the way he got a yellow in a far away from
It,
a
it
dangerous
was
position.
it
It was
was
a bit
silly.
ruthless, but maybe it's the debut, and of course it's a heated match always against Chile. So that is the only thing that I will say against his performance today. But he was huge. He was immense.
Absolutely, absolutely, and even here as well, he says Romero is a beast. He has it all in him. We're going to talk about all that. What did you think of the midfield? The midfield three. It was Paredes. It was De Paul, your boy,
Yep.
and Ocampos.
Well, I liked it. I was a little bit puzzled by Ocampo's position. I just didn't get what Scaloni was trying to do with him in playing in that role in that position. I like him more when he's playing in the wing, up front, maybe as a right winger, more offensive position, or left winger, whatever. I think he works in any of the two
The two
sides.
roles.
Yeah. So I was a bit confused by his position there. I didn't think he had such a big impact because, as I said just now, I like him more going forward, and he had a lot of other responsibilities in this game. Paredes was had a composed performance. I didn't think he had too big a role to play. Because the way I see it, the game was played more with Argentina in possession, so you didn't have to ask a lot from him defensively, right? And the Paul, I think he was very, very active. He had a lot of contact with the ball. He is a box to box. I think he's one of the best we have in terms of you know. Having a say in both in defense and attack. Maybe lacking a little bit of a clear vision tonight. In front of goal, he had a couple of wild shots, especially in the first half. But I liked him overall. I think he had a very, very good game.
Yeah, no, I agree. For me, he was our best midfielder. I mean, I tweeted out, I said, De Paul has three lungs. He reminds me a little bit of like a bit like Sorin, right, on the left wing, where he just kept going back and forth, never tired. And De Paul was everywhere. De Paul was running, and at one point, I was expecting Scaloni to substitute him off. He didn't. Instead, it was Paredes for I think it was Palacios, and that was kind of surprising. But I understand it because I feel like Scaloni was trying to go for it. I thought Paredes did well in his role, but I think we were just missing that attack, and I think Palacios kind of fit the bill there.
Yeah, I think Scaloni. I just said that for tonight, Paredes the game didn't demand that much from him because Chile wasn't going forward that much. It was more trying to counterattack. So Paredes, going into the final few minutes of the game, I think it made more sense to keep the ball because he can bring the ball forward a little better. He's more dynamic, and Paredes. We weren't really using him that much or relying that much on him for this game. So I agree with most of the substitutions. It was good to see so many debutants in a game. It finally looked like, it's a new era. It's a new national team with a couple of exceptions, right? Yeah, it's a new look, and we're actually seeing new blood. Yes. New blood coming in.
Yeah, and you mentioned it's a new look, except for a couple of exceptions, and two of those exceptions came up front, and out of the front three, one I know I love, and I know you love. One maybe a little bit not so much. You know who I'm talking about. This is all yours, Deba.
No, we're gonna get a bit controversial, but I have to say that I just hope this was the last game that we see of Di Maria in such a big and important role. I mean, starting, I don't think Di Maria deserves more opportunities. I'm curious of reading the comments from viewers. Having obviously, I know that there's a lot of mixed opinions when it comes to Di Maria, but I think I suffer when I see Di Maria in the national team, but I think he suffers even more. He's, I don't know if it's a mental block, if it's a added pressure. He's been in the national team for a while now, and we don't see the same player we see the rest of the year. So Jack Otako agrees with me. I mean, I like him as a person, as a player, I think he's great, very talented, but it's just not working when they're together, Selección and Di Maria. Yeah. Big S he says,
play again.
I mean, maybe as an impact sub, if we're winning and if we are up by 2 or 3, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue with him.
I'm going to try and be not too harsh, although I agree with everything you said. And there's something that MN actually mentioned. He said, great pass by Di Maria, but he needs to be benched. And obviously that pass to Lautaro Martinez, which won the penalty. That was a very good pass. And you could tell before the penalty as well, they kept going from that right side, Argentina's right side, Chile's left side. And they got in a couple of times, and obviously one of them was the penalty, which was thankfully given. There was a comment as well. I'm trying to find it here. Someone said, Lautaro needed more service, and I'm looking for it here. I can't find it. I'm sorry to whoever wrote it. Here we go. He said Lautaro needs to be more involved in the game. There you go. And I thought he ran a lot. He tried to make the runs, but ultimately by the second half, when he started getting the ball, I just thought he was very tired. Very, very tired. And it sucks. It's bad because once Di Maria was substituted off, that's when the flow started to get a lot more. But ironically enough, that's when Lautaro was very tired at that point.
Yeah, and also Chile was dropping a little bit more. They did a good job in blocking the balls coming to Lautaro. He had a couple of solo runs. There was one in which he was cutting from the right to the left. Iloa Elohim says Lautaro is also very selfish. That is a very good point, and it's also something that sometimes number nines they agree with that, and they say we have to be selfish. It's a quality for them. I remember, Batistuta used to be very, very selfish, and I think Lautaro is not as selfish as Batistuta was. Yeah.
If you're like Bati, you're allowed to be a little bit selfish.
Yeah, of course. But it's a quality. It's one of the things that even themselves, the number nines, say about themselves, and they say we have to be a bit selfish, and managers are okay with that, teammates are okay with that. In this case, for tonight, I think he tried to connect with Messi a couple of times in the short game, but I think the service overall wasn't coming that often to Lautaro.
Yeah, it was very sporadic, and a lot of the service was either coming through De Paul or actually Messi himself.
Yeah.
At one point, it was all Messi, and most of our shots. I saw a statistic on Twitter. I'll try and find it, but most of our shots came actually from outside of the penalty area. Obviously, Messi, the 2 free kicks, and then he had the one shot which was saved high up by Bravo, and then another one which was parried low by Bravo, which I believe was De Paul that almost scored the rebound. So you had 4 shots coming in from outside of the penalty area, all 4 of them by Messi. And I'm not hating on Lautaro. I like him. I would like to see him get another opportunity against Colombia. I think he's a solid number 9, and he strikes me as someone that if you show him confidence, he'll deliver. And he's shown it with Inter, obviously, this season, and with Argentina to Copa America and the qualifiers, even against Peru and everything. So I would stick with him, but there is missing that fluidity at one point where you're just kind of missing. You need someone to help him in the attack, and other than Messi, that is.
Yeah. I know. I would say something which is a very high compliment. But I would say, because I've seen him. Obviously, I support Racing Club, the team Lautaro started playing for professionally, and this is a guy who doesn't need to have a lot of chances in a game to put it away, to score a goal. And tonight it's not like he had he didn't have any clear-cut opportunity. He didn't have a lot of chances. He didn't waste a lot of chances. It was more him lacking service. But he's a player that scores an awful lot of goals with his first touch. He's a poacher. He's very. We need a player like that in a team like Argentina, who that it's more often than not going to dominate, going to have the ball, going to have teams dropping very, very deep against Argentina. So you need a player like that. You need a player like with one touch will put it away. Hopefully, more opportunities will come for him.
Hopefully, I hope so. And we saw someone get his national team debut as well, who could be a potential competition for Lautaro, and that was Alvarez of River Plate.
Yeah. I think he had a great game.
He had a very good game. If I'm not mistaken, he even wore the number 9.
Yeah, he wore the number 9 shirt.
Which is, on your national team debut, it's something.
Some pressure. I like him because he plays well with his back against the opposing goal, and he connected very well with his teammates. He can hold up the ball. He's a very dangerous player. And I wouldn't have asked for a lot more from him in the. Hello, love from Bangladesh, says Tommy. Yeah, we love
Hello.
Bangladesh. I think it's the country with the most Argentina
Fans?
supporters in the world. Yeah, I think so.
It's
I mean, statistically, they're like,
possibly.
I don't know how many millions. Yeah,
It,
for sure, there's more Argentina fans in Bangladesh than in Argentina. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. So big love to Tawhid too. But
Absolutely.
but yeah, for Julian Alvarez. Uh, it's impressive. This is a guy who haven't been in Europe yet. He's definitely has a future there, but it's not easy. It's not easy to make it a debut for your national team, and I think he did very well.
Mhm.
To say his competition to Lautaro, I think it's a bit, a
Too
bit.
early.
Yeah. It's too early for that. But
Too
yeah,
early.
the good thing is that there are options. It's a deep squad. It's starting to look like a deep squad. Yeah.
It is absolutely, and we saw it through the substitutions. You had obviously you had Alvarez, you had Palacios, you had Angel Correa who came in
Mhm.
as well, and then what was impressive for me was the fact that if you're looking at that team in terms of what was in the 11, then you look at who was not included. So
Yeah.
Buendia was not included in the squad. Aguero,
Yeah.
obviously, Dybala was a big topic of
Yeah.
discussion. So there are some big names being left out. Yet you still feel like this team, with what they had tonight, could and possibly should have done better.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
it's a good point. Speaking of missing names, Ra V says Alejandro Gomez Papu deserves to start over Ocampos. Yeah, this is a thing in particular about Papu, and I'll go to your point, Roy. But
yeah.
in particular about Papu, the problem for him is that I think Scaloni sees him as a one to one replacement whenever Messi is not ready to go, or if he's too tired, or if the game is already killed.
Mhm.
I think Scaloni doesn't see Papu and Messi playing together. At least he hasn't shown that. So maybe it's a problem for Papu. It's good
Mhm.
that he's in the team, and personally, I would like to see them both playing together. It would be such a headache for anyone that goes against Argentina. But yeah,
Yeah, that
as-
that reminds me of the tandem which we didn't really get too much of, where it was Riquelme and Aymar at one point, and
yeah,
then
or Batistuta and Crespo under Bielsa.
Bati
He didn't
Bati
he
and
didn't like to
Crespo,
play both. Yeah,
yeah,
but yeah,
Messi
the
Dybala.
missing. Yeah, Messi and Dybala as well. Yeah, that is a good problem to have actually,
It is.
because you have options, and obviously uh, it's better than not having options at all.
Absolutely,
Um, and Lo
absolutely.
Celso is a big miss. He could provide creativity that Paredes and the
Yeah.
ball can offer. Says Hui. Um,
Yeah, and
it's a good
I would
point.
agree with that. I would agree with that. I think Lo Celso starting today in place of Ocampos probably would have brought a bit more stability in the midfield. Although Ocampos, I feel like would have helped out defensively more than Lo Celso would have. So
Yeah, I think that was probably the reasoning for Scaloni. He probably envisioned a game in which Ocampos could join the attack more often. It didn't happen.
mhm.
Yeah, maybe if it was a coin toss
Yeah,
between between both names. But yeah, I agree with you, Roy. More
yeah,
stability and more of a balance from Lo Celso, because yeah, he can give you that presence
absolutely.
offensively as well. Maybe not as explosive as Ocampos, but he could join in creativity. He could be a partner for Messi
Yeah,
and also a partner for Paredes if we
absolutely.
had to drop a little bit deeper.
Absolutely. So we're getting a lot of questions regarding Scaloni, and we're going to get to it in a minute, definitely. And we're getting a lot, here. It's for example, Romero should be a regular starter and everything. But on the topic of Scaloni, really, really quickly, one thing I was actually very surprised and pleasantly surprised was the fact that he was not afraid to make the changes. We had two changes
Yeah,
right away at halftime. Lisandro Martinez and Correa came on for Cuarta Martinez and Ocampos. And that right there, I think, was a boost that the team needed. And I was very surprised to see it, because it's very rare that you see one substitution at halftime, let alone two, especially in a World Cup qualifier, especially by an Argentina coach.
yeah, yeah, and obviously you have to consider that Scaloni took advantage of the five substitutions rule,
Yeah.
which I think it's good to see that he's not afraid to make the changes and he's not too rigid. And I think the idea in putting Lisandro in for Martinez Cuarta was to give the back line more mobility,
Mhm.
more fluidity on the ball, especially seeing that Chile didn't have much of the ball and didn't and wasn't demanding a lot from our back four, and especially in the physical side of the game. It was just Vargas there trying to get a ball, or Alexis interchanging positions, but they're light. They're not heavyweights, so
Yeah.
you don't really need two big guys as Romero and Martinez Cuarta. So I think that was a very good thing to see to see Lisandro being included, um, and especially Scaloni not being afraid to make the changes. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And something I loved, and something you mentioned as well, in the sense of the strikers, at least that the defenders were up against. You have someone like Lisandro Martinez and someone like Christian Romero. And what I was very, very surprised of is the fact that Romero, this was his national team debut. Lisandro Martinez, I believe it's only his second match. I believe he made his debut against Venezuela 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But what I was surprised of was their positioning and their understanding, because when you get two young defenders like that, fairly inexperienced, especially with the national team, and you put them together in a World Cup qualifier and it's 1-1, where things could go bad very, very easily, I thought they did very well. And I would love to see that become Argentina's starting center backs. I don't know what you guys think in the chat. I don't know what you think, Seba, but for me, those are Argentina's two starting center backs from now on.
Yeah, Sivan was saying that he loved that partnership and he would like to see
Yeah.
both of them playing together. And I think they give you this good combination of um, bit of a lightweight and a heavyweight playing together, both very solid,
Yeah.
very intelligent. That's key, especially for a position like center back playing for Argentina. As I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, this is a team that it's more often than not always in possession, always attacking, and you need defenders like that. I remember the good old times of Roberto Ayala with Walter Samuel.
Samuel.
It's that kind of Walter Samuel and Romero are a bit alike. Ayala is very very fast. I will
Yeah.
compare him more to someone like Lisandro.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was happy to see them coming through. We spoke during the week, and if you have more time or would like to see
Yeah.
more videos, there's some of the collections, especially by Roy himself, going through different positions, different parts of the field for Argentina, different options and players. And we were saying that we don't have a lot of world class center backs, and to
Yeah.
see these guys doing very very well, especially Romero in his
In the middle.
debut, is very encouraging and it's very promising.
No, absolutely. And it's not like you mentioned the good old days where you had Ajala and you had Samuel and others. Now it's you have, and we spoke about it and you mentioned it.
Yeah,
It's in our YouTube channel, it's in our videos where we said Argentina have a lot of center backs, but no one that's really world class.
yeah,
And I'm not saying Romero's world class, I'm not saying Lisandro's world class, but from what I saw today, I'm very, very comfortable with them in the future.
yeah.
One guy who I'm not, one person who I'm a big fan of, but maybe I don't know, disappointed me, is right here, Tagliafico. Do we have a better
Yeah.
option than Tagliafico on the left? I know
You
what you're
know
gonna
what I
say.
was.
I know what you're
You
gonna say.
know me.
So go for it. It's all yours.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he had a very solid game. He's a bit of a loose cannon, especially in possession. You don't know what's going to happen next. He could do something brilliant. He could do something stupid. Um, I like him. I like him. I think he's very brave, talented, but I think Acuna brings you a little bit more. It's a lot more composed,
Mhm.
and it's more of a physical presence as well. And I would have liked to see him uh, in midfield or playing in place of Tagliafico. Um, and maybe for Colombia we're going to see a change there. Safwan is asking why didn't Acuna even play today? Maybe you have to remember, for every time we play in World Cup qualifiers, there's a there's two games in quick
Yeah.
succession, and you need to administer your resources the best you can. Maybe Scaloni was having that in mind. Maybe he has a set of he has a core team set
Yeah.
of players that he knows is going to play in both fixtures, and then he has the ability to try and see how other pieces um, play for him.
100%.
So
Yeah.
maybe we can see some changes going to Colombia. Acuna could play a role there. I would always put Acuna in my starting 11, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tagliafico
I'm
to
not
me
surprised.
today was yeah, no, I know, but no, I'm not being biased.
I know. I know.
Acuna in midfield, we don't have creativity there. Acuna should be a left back. Well, yeah, that's a people see him. There's a lot of people seeing him as a left back. He
Mhm.
did that for Sporting, also for Sevilla. I've seen him from before. I know what he can bring in midfield. Maybe I haven't seen him doing that at a top international level, but I'm
Mm.
confident in his ability and I know he could do something there, especially the crosses that he sends. I don't know if we have any other Argentine player on the left or on the right that can send those crosses as well as he does.
Di Maria.
No. Well, he has the ability, but he doesn't do it.
Yeah, I
He
know.
doesn't do
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
I know. It's look, and I'll echo the comment right here. I was pleased with the fans for the
Yeah.
most part. I was. I thought Foyth. We haven't really spoken much about Foyth. I thought he was solid for the most part in the first half, except for that silly foul, which was
Yeah.
useless that led to the goal. And I think that was the only time where there was a real lapse in concentration by the defending. I don't know if it was lack of concentration, if it was lack of chemistry, or
Mhm.
just luck on Chile's side. But it was a silly goal to concede.
Yeah, I also remember one play in which Foyt was closing down on the right, and he was careless in possession. There, he tried to clear it, but he fell short, and he created an opportunity for Chile to attack. But the foul, yeah, that was silly, and at the end of the day, you feel like Argentina should have uh,
Should have
gotten all
won.
the 3 points, and Chile didn't create that many chances, and it was only
Yeah.
a set piece. Oh, Chile would say, "Yeah, well, you scored a penalty." I mean, it was two set
Uh,
pieces that,
That,
uh, yeah,
yeah, they canceled each other out. But at the same time, if we're looking at it, from an overall, I think Chile had much of the ball at the start of the second half, but didn't do much with it. And I'm being
yeah,
honest, outside of the goal, I can't remember a single effort by Chile. Argentina's second half started off very poorly. They got the ball, and when they got the ball, Chile kind of sat back, and it was very narrow. It was
yeah,
a back at one point. It was a back line of six. You had six
yeah,
defenders, and you had three, and they were both very narrow, very close. It was difficult for Argentina to crack down, and they tried sending in crosses a couple of times. It didn't work out. They tried going through the middle, didn't work out. So for me, it always felt like once Chile got that goal, they were happy with the draw, I think.
of course, of course. For Chile, from the Chile point of view, you see the list of fixtures, and you would think that the most you could get against Argentina, Brazil, it's a draw at home, maybe
Mhm.
win at home, and away, getting a draw away. It hasn't always been easy for Chile coming to Argentina. So they will be happy with the point, of course, for sure. But also, I think they will be happy with their performance overall. They managed to get through without
Yeah,
it wasn't like you see the highlights and obviously you'll see Messi hitting the post, Bravo flying and making that incredible save,
yeah.
but it wasn't like we threw everything at them. We really put them under pressure and we should have won
No,
by 3 or 4. It wasn't a game like such as
like
that.
that.
So yeah, I think Chile will be happy with the point. It comes really, really great for him if you see the standings.
Yeah.
And yeah, for us, we're always disappointed when we don't win. But you know,
Especially at home.
for a team with a lot of debutants, it was a long time since we last play. So let's take this point. Maybe at the end of the World Cup qualifiers, it could
Mhm.
be the difference. We don't know.
It,
I hope it's. I hope we don't go down to a 1 point
to,
difference. But
not like 2010 or 2018. Nothing like that.
no, no,
Hopefully
please.
not. We can't take it. We lived through it. I think everyone here in the chat lived through it. There was
Oh
no way
yeah, or
that
well,
was
I
gonna end.
remember '93. I even remember '85, the World Cup qualifiers. It was only a miracle against Peru, not the Palermo one, the
The other
Pasarela one,
one.
Pasarela
Yeah.
and Gareca one. Yeah, we were about to get knocked out and not qualify for Mexico '86. Remember, imagine that. Imagine not
How that
seeing
would
what
have been
Diego did.
different.
Imagine that. Imagine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, well, let's hope it's not going down to the wire this time.
Let's hope. Look, we've gotten. I'm very happy with the qualifiers so far. If you really think of it, we've gotten a big win versus Bolivia away in La Paz, which hasn't happened in years. We
Yeah.
got the win versus Peru in Lima as well, which is not easy. So we're winning the matches that we normally don't win,
Yeah.
and we're drawing the matches that we should be winning. So in a way, it's balancing out, but not totally in our favor sometimes, which is kind of
Yeah.
odd. But fingers
Yeah.
crossed, that means we win in. Is the match in Barranquilla in Colombia? Hopefully, we win that
Yeah.
one.
It's going to be in Barranquilla. I'm reading tonight. I read that there's going to be 10,000 spectators allowed in. It's not going to be easy. It's always difficult place to go to. Very very hot. Colombia. They will be under pressure. They haven't. They haven't played yet. I think they're playing now. Yeah, they are. I think.
I believe
Anyway,
so. Yeah.
yeah, we'll check. We'll check what's the score. But yeah, I know. We're talking only about Argentina, but what about what's going on in Brazil? Maybe we
Oh
can take
my.
a little bit to talk about the arch rivals. There's a
Absolutely.
big rumor that the most important players in Brazil, especially the core that plays in Europe, they are preparing a coup against the Football
Yeah.
Confederation of Brazil, and the rumor is that they won't take part of Copa America organized in their own backyard. So that's more to come. They said that they're going to announce this decision after this set of World Cup qualifiers. So maybe next week.
Mhm.
Stay tuned for that. Thank you, Jaco Taco. Colombia are up
Are up
one
one
nil up.
nil, and
Yeah.
Peru has a red. So there you go.
Oh, it's not looking good for Peru.
No,
And they're bottom. They
Gareca,
only got 1 point.
Yeah, the pressure's on
I'm
Gareca. I mean,
surprised.
they made the
Yeah,
Copa final 2 years ago, but the World
yeah.
Cup is something else.
Arguably, they have the worst. The strength of schedule for them was a killer because they already play Argentina, Brazil, Chile. They have a draw against Paraguay,
Colombia,
and now they're playing Colombia. So
Colombia, and
that is a
let's
factor. But
yeah, sorry, and I was gonna say let's not forget, and maybe this is kind of a blessing for us. We were supposed to play
Mhm.
Brazil and Uruguay.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
That could have been so. Imagine playing Brazil Uruguay now, and then next week you have the Copa that's beginning and that's starting. That would have been very
yeah.
difficult.
Yeah,
Very
it
very
was
difficult.
going to be happening in March, I think, but
It's
it's always difficult to play Brazil, let alone playing Brazil and Uruguay in 3 4 days in between.
yeah.
So I'm curious of knowing what's going to happen with this Brazil situation and
It's
if it's going to affect them for going into the game tomorrow. But going back to Argentina, yeah, I think World Cup qualifiers in South America, we have always said they are among the most difficult in the world.
mhm.
Um, so it's no surprise that we will be dropping points every now and then. But at the end of the day, you take the point, especially having 4 debutants, especially knowing that in the
It,
balance of things, we should have won it. We could have won it. It wouldn't have been very very strange to win it.
mm,
But we go again. We go again next week in Colombia and see
yeah,
what happens. Yeah.
absolutely. I think one thing we could kind of agree on, and it's not his fault, obviously. I think we keep Emiliano Martinez as goalkeeper instead of Armani. I think that one's kind of set in stone
Yeah,
versus Colombia.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, nobody can judge him for
no.
by this performance because he wasn't under pressure a lot. I think he only
Mhm.
had a cross to deal with. Um, his positioning in the first in Chile's goal, he has to cover that post. I mean, any
Yeah. Oh, he
expert in
has to.
goalkeeping will tell you,
Yeah.
And then, well, Medel did very well to reach that ball in the first place, and
To
then,
Sanchez.
yeah, have the clarity of mind to
To,
send it across
to
to
get it. Yeah.
Alexis. Yeah,
And Jaco Taco mentioned we have a great record in Colombia.
yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, the goal that we got the last time around Barranquilla was a Lucas. I think it was a Lucas Biglia goal when we won 1-0. And then before that, it was Messi and Aguero when we were losing 1-0. So we are. I know for a fact we've won at least our last two matches in Barranquilla.
yeah. And then
Hopefully,
I
it's our time to come.
remember going a little bit back in time. I think it was for the World Cup qualifiers for either France 98 or Korea and Japan. I remember we won 1-0. Claudio Lopez scored from
Yes,
outside the box, and
yes, I remember that.
Mondragon follow it through. Just looking, he misjudged that incredibly. But yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah,
It's a very very difficult place to go to, but we seem to have a good record there. So let's be confident. Yeah.
yeah.
How can
So
we add with
to our
to
attack,
our
this
attack?
has been a problem for years, and I'm gonna tie this up into another question because
Yeah,
I feel like this kind of hurt us. The right back, you going with Foyth or Molina? Sorry, not Molina.
yeah.
Molina, because I feel like that
Um,
Foyth moving forward and on the right did not give us any width.
I mean, if he's ready, I'm going to go with none of them, and I'm going to say Montiel,
Montiel.
the River Plate right back, on form, especially because I see him um, performing really, really well lately.
Mm-hmm.
Playing for River, he had a he wasn't ready for this game. COVID situation. If
Yeah.
you if you haven't heard, if you don't follow the Argentine league that much or Copa Libertadores, River Plate had a very very bad situation with COVID. They even had to put Enzo Perez.
As a
You remember
goalkeeper.
Enzo Perez? He played he started in the World Cup
Cool.
final in 2014,
Yeah.
but then he had to play on goal for River in a game that they won.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a win as a goalkeeper. But Montiel, I think, will give you exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Molina is a good option as well. I like both of them better than Foyt because it's not his natural position for Foyt,
Yeah.
and so I will go with Montiel as
With
my
Montiel.
preferred choice. And Molina, I wouldn't have a problem
With
seeing
Molina. Yeah.
Molina starting.
I,
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're probably going to get Molina. I think that's part of the reason why Scaloni substituted him in. Sorry,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think Foyth obviously just coming off the Europa League win and everything, but uh, Molina, in my opinion, offers you more moving forward than Foyth, just because, like you said, Foyth is not a natural right back. It's not his position, and it
yeah,
showed. Defensively, for the most part, he was solid, but when moving forward, I mean, whether it was Messi or De Paul on the right side, they were
yeah,
alone.
yeah,
They were alone.
yeah.
But
Absolutely, absolutely.
midfield, do you go with the same one? Do you take off Ocampos? Looking forward to Colombia.
Yeah, you have to consider it's gonna be different conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Is You have to take heat and humidity into consideration, of course. So um, you will need to factor those things in. You also need to see how players will recover. Um, Trying to hope for no injuries or anything like that. But I wouldn't start the same midfield as today. I wouldn't start Tagliafico. I wouldn't start Di Maria. So those are the things I will keep Paredes and I will keep the Paul. Then I will consider introducing Lo Celso to try and win the midfield battle
Yeah.
and try to have quick players on the wings. Um, and of course, I will continue with Lautaro and Messi included in the team. And
Mm-hmm.
Messi gives you, apart from all the obvious things that Messi give you, it's the versatility that he can play different roles. He can interchange. He can start by playing on the right as a second forward,
Yeah.
as an enganche, joining in midfield. So I will obviously keep Messi, of course, and Lautaro, and see the options that we can try. So I think it's a bit too early to start thinking or defining and starting 11.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but those would be my initial thoughts about it, and I will stick with Romero and probably Martinez Cuarta as well to start with. But I wouldn't have an issue with Lisandro starting with Romero, as we were saying.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think in midfield you have to take Ocampos off. I think Lo Celso gives you that stability, and we've seen it in the past. Lo Celso, De Paul, and Paredes, they know each other pretty well at this point. This has been Scaloni's midfield for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
So I do think we get Lo Celso. It's up front, and I don't know what Scaloni's going to do. I don't know if he really tries something new and puts Buendia out there on the right wing. Do we get something similar to what we got in 2019, where we had Messi, Agüero, and Lautaro up front? Do we get something like that? It's going to be very interesting. Maybe he puts Ocampos on the right wing and Lo Celso in midfield. So the one thing, at least, and you mentioned this earlier, was there is versatility. We do have options. We do have players that Scaloni can test out and try.
Of course. Yeah. There was a comment there about Agüero and Lautaro playing together. I wouldn't have an issue. I mean, you have two amazing strikers there. The only question mark I will have is Agüero's fitness at the moment. He's been like in 4 countries in 2 days. Then there's another international, and he hasn't been playing 90 minutes for City as well during the season. So there's a question mark there. I don't think Scaloni will look to start with Agüero, especially based on fitness levels, but he's a fantastic option to have off the bench. So probably that will be more likely to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the questions was, what do you think were the best and worst takeaways of this match? So in your opinion, what was the highlight or one of the highlights from tonight's match?
Well, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but to me, the highlight is to have 4 players making their full debut. That is a big number for Argentina. I don't remember in the past. There must be a stat over there, but I haven't seen, and I don't remember a moment in which 4 players made their debut, be it as a starter or coming off the bench. So that to me is a highlight, together with Cuti Romero's performance. I think those 2 were the highlights for me. And on the other hand, the downside, Di Maria, I have to say, insisting with the situation that it's not coming to fruition, it's not happening. And as I always say, I love the guy. I would love him to do better and to do very well, but it's just not happening. And I would say also Tagliafico's performance. It wasn't terrible, but I just didn't see the point. I just didn't see sense in what he brought to the table today.
Yeah. And I agree, and you might not like me for this. I actually think, for the most part, at least in the first half, I thought Di Maria was decent. I actually think Di Maria had an overall better game than Tagliafico. And I love Tagliafico. I'm a big fan of his. I really am. But I was very, very disappointed in him today. He offered nothing moving forward, nothing in defense. I just thought it was one of his worst games for us. Whereas Di Maria at least had that through ball, had that pass that got the assist. He had a couple of dribbles. Obviously, for me, those were the 2 low, along with Ocampos for me.
I would agree with that. Yeah, it's not obviously you don't. We shouldn't take away from Di Maria that he put that amazing ball to Lautaro, which created our goal, basically the penalty. But obviously, when comparing Di Maria and Tagliafico, obviously the expectation levels are different. For a player like Di Maria, there seems to be consensus that he's among the best players in the world. Maybe at club level, I don't see it for the national team. No disrespect, but obviously, when you have Di Maria and Tagliafico, you expect a lot more from Di Maria, which he brought today in comparison with Tagliafico. But compared to his own potential and ability, it's just something that is missing there. And I don't know if it's a mental block, pressure coming to him when he plays for Argentina, or what, but
and he's had that for a while, and that's the one thing I could never fault Di Maria, and I'm not faulting Tagliafico or anyone, But if we're talking about Di Maria, he always gives his all. He always gives his 200%. Whether
Yeah,
it's a good performance or not, he always gives it his all, and you could tell. And I think that's part of the reason why I like him, and I know you have nothing against him. You like him as well,
of course.
so that's something you could respect. But it's an age factor. It's a mental thing. It's the injuries. He's been playing at the highest level for over
Yeah,
10 years now, and that
yeah,
for someone that's injury prone, even if you're not injury prone, that takes a toll on your body.
yeah,
And for the national team now, I think it's time, or it was time a couple of years ago, but it's time to kind of bring in some
yeah,
more new fresh blood.
yeah. I wouldn't have an issue with him staying in the squad.
Mm-hmm.
He could be influential off the
Yeah.
pitch as well, trying to help young players coming through understand what it is to play for the national team. It's not easy. And he could play a role in a game or two coming off the
Yeah.
bench in for the last few minutes when the opposing defense is tired, and maybe he can make an impact there. But
As a starter, yeah, I
not
think
as a starter. Yeah,
no, I think his time is really done as a starter. Unfortunately for him, but
yeah,
it's exciting for us because we do have, I know I was just I didn't have a good match, but we do have Ocampos.
yeah.
Obviously, we have Buendia, who didn't even make the bench today, which was very surprising. I thought he was someone that we would at least see as a substitute. So we do have options. Scaloni has options, and there was a comment earlier, and it said. I can't believe we're talking about Argentina, but our defending was better than our attack. And I cannot remember the last time we could actually say that. Because
Yeah,
for the longest time, Argentina's had the names of Aguero, Messi, Higuain, Lavezzi, Di Maria, and the list goes on and on. Batti and Crespo, Saviola, Tevez. But now we're looking at it today, and Christian Romero, Lisandro, even, Cuarta Martinez was good. Then you had Molina and Foyt. So defensively, no, I was comfortable, and even with Emiliano Martinez, I felt comfortable. He had that presence there, that commanding
mhm.
presence. It's just we need them to click, and at the same time, they've only been together for a couple of days, and it's been 6-7 months since they last played. So maybe this could be good going into the Copa. It's a big squad. We might be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of options. We have, Scaloni has options to play different schemes, different formations, different setups. I really, really like Angel Correa. He was ever present for the champion of La Liga. I mean, he can give you a lot of
He's
different things.
he's
So
very
there's a lot
versatile.
of, yeah, very versatile. Um, he can make a move in an inch. He can remember the score. He scored a fantastic goal in the game where Atletico won the league.
Yes,
He kind of skipped passed through defenders and then with the tip of the shoe
toe. Yeah,
as a Romario, just like Romario. But it's important to have players like him, and it's
yeah.
important to see that we have options. It's not like
Mhm.
we have only 11 players and we should stick to a
Yeah,
rigid formation and hope for the best. It's not the case. We can be a danger for any team,
yeah,
especially because of that. They don't know where we're coming from, and
yeah,
that needs some time to be worked. They need some time to be tested,
yeah.
and the Copa America will be great for that, especially for that,
No,
for trying different things.
absolutely. And you mentioned that Correa goal for Atletico. I remember reading, I think it was post match, he said Simeone told him to try that because he plays futsal. And he said, you do it in futsal, do it in a
Yeah,
match.
of
So
course.
that it's sometimes, some things work, right?
Yeah,
But, and I'm very, obviously I'm excited. It's the Copa. I'm excited we're playing Colombia. But what I'm most excited about, and for some maybe not so much, but it's the fact that you don't know, and you just mentioned it. You don't know what team we're gonna get. Are we gonna get a back three? Are we gonna get a back five? How are we gonna play? Because Scaloni has the options. Because the players are very versatile, and that's something that is unpredictable to the opponent and
yeah,
could very much play to our advantage. Because
yeah, absolutely.
before you used to look at Argentina and you knew what the starting 11 was. When Sabella, God rest his soul, was there, you knew what you were getting. It was
Yeah,
solid. It worked. Now we have options.
Yeah, absolutely. Who says he wouldn't say that we have a better defense than attacking? I think maybe for this game, maybe
Yeah,
Roy is mentioning for this
this
game.
game specifically, yeah,
Obviously, yeah, obviously the talent wise, obviously we have a lot more in going forward than defending. But oh yeah, Tuku Correa as
yeah,
well as
Joaquin, yeah,
Jaco Taco saying. Of course, we have a lot of options, and I'm actually confident in this generation of players. Obviously, Scaloni doesn't have a lot of pedigree. He never took on a club on a team at a club level.
yeah,
He almost inherited this situation and this position as a national team coach, but he's not very stubborn. He's not um, crazy. He's not doing crazy things or stupid things,
hmm,
and he seems to be well liked by the players. So let's
yeah.
stick with him for a while. Let's see how he does in this big competition, Copa America, coming forward, and in the rest of the qualifiers, of course.
Oh, absolutely, definitely, definitely, and you can never really blame him. I see a lot of people, attacking Scaloni and everything, and I understand the criticism, and sometimes it's warranted, absolutely. But when you look at what he took, I mean, Scaloni took over a team that almost got humiliated in 2018 at the World Cup, and he had to get rid of, even though they retired, Mascherano retired, Biglia, Higuain, so a lot of the players retired from the national team, and you're thrown in a position where we're giving you the spot temporarily. And then he does well. He impresses for 6 months, but not only does he impress, but he gets the job. And granted, maybe he gets the job because no one else wanted it. And
Yeah,
let's be honest, no one
of
really wanted
course.
the
Yeah, yeah,
president's
yeah.
job.
No, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
but then he turned it around a year later, less than a year later, he took them to a semifinal of a Copa America in Brazil and arguably should have won.
Yeah,
So you have
got
to cut him
robbed.
some slack. Yeah, and he does. And,
Yeah.
and again, and he showed it tonight. He showed tonight that he's not afraid to change things up. He's not afraid to substitute players in and out. I mean, Di Maria normally would play the entire 90 minutes, but now he got, what was it, 75 minutes. And it's changing. And you have to give him credit. He's still
Of
building,
course.
he's still learning. It's a young team. I'm very excited with this team with Joaquin Correa, Angel Correa, Lautaro Martinez, and then you have the veterans. And one thing I thought about, and we're probably not going to get it, but I was wondering tonight what would have happened if Messi was not there. Would Chile have opened up a little bit more? Would we have gotten more chances? Because a lot of the focus was on Messi. When he got the ball, he was surrounded by 3, 4 players, and he's obviously the difference maker. And it's never going to happen where he's not there. Well, as long as he's still active for his club, for Barcelona. But sometimes you kind of feel like, well, what if he's not there? Do other teams open up? Do we get more chances? And something that I enjoyed today was because every time he was on the ball, he had players surrounded. Other players were not afraid to try and dribble and take him on. Angel Correa won 2 fouls. One was the free kick where Messi hit the crossbar. De Paul was knifing in the through balls. Julian Alvarez when he came on. So we had different options. And before it was, well, even when Sampaoli was there, it was, well, Messi's playing, Messi
Hmm.
gets the ball and we wait. Now you feel like things are changing,
Yeah,
at least.
yeah. There's a like general feeling that if Messi is not there, we are at best
Mhm.
second class national team. We don't know. We haven't seen it. I I don't agree that we will necessarily be. I get the point that without Messi, you can compare Argentina with the likes of France,
No, obviously not.
maybe I don't know, Germany, Brazil for sure, um, Belgium. These teams that have generation after generation and solid cores. They don't depend on only one player. I
Mhm.
don't. I don't know. I wouldn't like to see how we look without Messi because I would like for Messi to play until he's 50. But it's a good point, and I think that's the reason why Papu is waiting on the wings. Colombia winning 3-0 right now,
Wow.
thanks to Romney for the information.
Yeah,
That is a big result.
that's yeah, and they don't have James Rodriguez who they
They
left
don't.
out of the squad as well.
Yeah.
So wow.
It's trouble for Gareca. Really,
Yeah,
it's really
yeah,
difficult.
big time.
So
And
Colombia is gonna be high in spirits playing against Argentina. They know they
very
have three
confident.
points for sure. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of Colombia we have, because Colombia, they're a team that can paint your face, as we say it in Spanish.
Mhm.
Te pinta la cara. They paint your face, but they can also collapse and boycott themselves and be their worst enemy. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
It's
Colombia will come crashing down next week. Oh, we'll see.
hopefully.
We'll see. There's some.
It definitely hope. I definitely hope so. And Gorab, just in regards to the Colombia match, he says both teams down to 10 men. So it's going to be interesting to see
Oh, okay.
who got the red card for Colombia. If
Oh,
it's
I
one of
can
their
check. I can
starters,
check that
enforcers,
actually. I can
definitely
check
go
that.
for it. Definitely,
This is
definitely.
live television.
Live television. Let's do
So
this.
Luis Diaz, Mateus Uribe, and Jerry Mina, the scorers.
Yeah,
Um, I don't see the red card for Colombia. It
for
says that
Colombia.
the card was changed.
Ah, okay. So maybe it was
Well,
taken back.
yeah. No, I trust Gorab and the information because he's seeing the game, and I'm only looking at
It's
at an app
an
here.
application.
Yeah.
No worries.
Maybe Daniel Munoz got the red card. We'll see. We'll
Could
see.
be.
But
Munoz. Jaco Taco says Munoz.
yeah. Munoz.
Munoz. There you go.
All right.
Uh,
So, Roy, I have to say, I'm really excited getting all these
me too.
comments, going live with this YouTube channel for Mundo.
Me too.
Who knows whereabouts in the world these lovely followers are writing questions, sending comments, keeping us entertained as well. We hope we are keeping you entertained.
Yes.
Maybe you're watching this live. Maybe you watch it
On
tomorrow
playback.
when you want to hear and get some reaction from the game. It's always great to have a place like this, such a great community we've known for years. We know what they're like. You know we know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
You're really passionate, and it's a pleasure for us to be doing this,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely. And Jaco Taco says, thank you. Well, thank you. It was a treat. We do this not only because we love it, but we do it for you guys as well. It's always fun. It's always entertaining to interact, to see the comments and everything. And we see the comments. We mentioned this last time yes, we mentioned Bangladesh and India and Pakistan and Malaysia, but we get from Europe, we get in Africa, we get different parts. We believe it or not, but we actually get South America as well. We get in Argentina, so
Yeah.
we get worldwide, and it's because of you. And Raf says, there you go. Raf is nearby Toronto. He's in Niagara Falls, right here in Raf.
He's amazing.
Next,
He's great.
so
I think
absolutely, and yeah.
for my compatriots, for fellow Argentines, this could be a good opportunity for an English lesson without the boring present tense, stuff like that. We talk about football, we talk about Argentina, and
Yeah.
it could be a good way to learn some English. And for sure, we can try and go live after the Colombia game. Obviously, I'm a family man. I have two kids. It's late. The
Definitely.
planets have to align, but I'm always
Everything.
willing to come live on
Yes.
this channel and talk to you.
Absolutely,
guys.
we have John as well from Mundo, from Malaysia as well. So
Yeah.
definitely, if we could have you, that'd be great. You're always more than welcome, John. Absolutely, Jaco Taco. Good night. Have a good one. And we'll do. I know we're getting a lot of questions. Some for you, some for me. In terms of, you don't have a wiki. I'm not that famous to have a wiki. I'll try creating one to see. I don't know if they'll delete it or not. But we'll do a little Q&A, and we'll talk a little bit more about ourselves. And Gorab, all the way from down under, so I'm assuming Australia. I'm pretty good at geography. I'm pretty good. It has to be. It has to be. We have one from India as well, so we're getting worldwide, literally worldwide, guys. And this is fun. It really is. Seba, anything you want to add before we end it for the night?
I'm always happy when I see Argentina play. Obviously, I prefer when we win. I would really want it to beat Chile, especially. I'm still not over those two Copa America. I hope we get them again in the Copa America I hope for a better result this time. But to me, the highlight is doing this coming here to share with the community, share the passion that we have for the national team, and getting all these comments, seeing that there's people here like Romney supporting Argentina since 1985.
85.
I was 8, and I'm an old man, so Romney has been around for a long time. I can tell you that he's seen some of the the ups and a lot of the downs
Yeah,
in Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, this is
yeah,
amazing. I mean, this
it's
is
huge.
such a wonderful
It's huge.
channel,
Yeah,
and I want to thank you, Roy, especially because you're the guy putting everything together, keeping Mundo alive and making it grow and setting everything, setting the channel, setting this conversation and everything. So thank you.
the,
And
thank you. And
the
a little behind the scenes. Sorry, just really quickly, Seba.
yeah,
Seba did not know we were doing this. In my mind, I'm like, you know what? We could do a post game, and about 20 minutes left in the match, I messaged Seba. I'm like, we're going on YouTube, huh? He's like, I don't know. Let me see. I'm like, Seba, tell me you're in. He's like, yes. I'm like, perfect. Let's do this. So
yeah, my legs were up. My legs were up. I already had a coffee. I was getting ready to go to bed.
yeah.
Hey, hello,
So
Vietnam. Fantastic,
Vietnam,
fantastic.
1990, Diego Steers versus West Germany.
Yeah,
So there you go.
yeah. Let's get ready for Roy's birthday. Is coming. It's coming soon. This month, couple of weeks, maybe.
Yeah,
We
June
have a game. Yeah, we have a
June
game that day.
14, June 14, yeah, versus Chile. June
Yeah, we have a
14.
game. Yeah, we have a game.
It's gonna be
So
interesting. Well, yours was a couple of days ago, so
yeah,
I
yeah.
already wish you happy birthday, but we'll do another one on the air. Happy birthday, Seb. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you, thank you. I'm
So
forever old. Yeah.
yeah, and and we have Mauricio from Chile. We like to talk about Chile. Mauricio, if you go back, we could talk a little bit about Chile. We could take a minute or two
Yeah,
right
of
before we
course,
end
of
this.
course.
Absolutely. So
For starters, I think the best player in the game, to me, in my opinion, was Eugenio Mena, the left back
yeah,
for Chile and also left back for Racing Club. But apart from that, I think if we need to check Eugenio Mena's pockets because Di Maria is in there somewhere. Ocampos is in there for every time he tried to go there on
so
the right. Mena stopped
someone's
him.
someone said Messi was there too.
Yeah, Messi for a while because Mena won a couple of challenges there, and also when Mena was going forward, he created a lot of issues and problems with for Foyth. So to
Mhm.
me, I think he was immense, very, very solid player. I know what he can do.
Yeah,
Bravo was amazing, a couple of saves. So overall, and Gary Medel, always the spirit
is
of Chile
Chile.
and providing the assist.
Yeah,
He's,
he's our
I,
Mascherano. He's our
yeah,
Mascherano.
I never want to face him again.
No, at all, at all.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, he's the type of player you like to have on your team. Similar to Luis Suarez, you like to have him on your
yeah,
team, but you hate to play against him.
of course,
He
of
has
course.
that fighting spirit.
AN is saying, I thought we played June 13,
We
but yeah, but they changed it, right? They
we
changed the
changed
opening
it.
game.
Yeah, actually, well, I'm gonna plug this. I'll mention it. But
Of
actually,
course.
we had a video up earlier today regarding the changes, and we have the article up on the website as well. So no longer, because Argentina are no longer hosts and
Yeah,
Brazil are hosts. So Brazil will play June 13. Argentina is playing on June 14. So
yeah.
note that on your
Yeah,
calendar.
she's also my lovely wife Diana's birthday. So there's always a game when she has a birthday. So I'll try to, I'll try to be creative
Yeah,
as a midfielder and try to dodge and be able to watch the game. I'm sure we will because she also loves watching the games. So,
perfect.
um,
There you go. All right. And on that note, we do have a game coming up next week versus Colombia on June the 8th, which I believe is a Tuesday. So obviously, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Leave a comment. Let us know what you guys thought about the match because we're going to be doing a lot more of these videos, whether it's me and Seba or me and someone else or actually just myself. Definitely subscribe. We'll have the content and hopefully we could do this again, Seba.
yeah.
Before, after the Colombia game, we'll see. I'm in. It's your call. It's your
Of
call.
course, yeah.
Whenever you can.
I'll always try to.
Absolutely.
Recommend it. Talk among friends. Put it else. Put it everywhere. Social media. Everything. Every little thing will help us,
Yeah,
and will help grow the community as well.
absolutely.
And the more the merrier. And keep commenting away. We've seen for every video we have a very active community, so there's a lot of comments there. We are about to hit, if we haven't already, about to hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a milestone for Mundo. And we will always be ready here and ready to talk about Argentina.
Exactly. And again, this is what makes it fun, is the interaction with you guys. So without you guys, there's no interaction, and honestly, this would become kind of dull, kind of boring. So definitely subscribe and like to support. All right.
Fantastic.
Perfect. So my name is Roy Nemmer, the one and only living legend himself, Sebastian Garcia.
Stopping you.
Of Mundo Albiceleste. Of Mundo Albiceleste. Thank you guys for joining. We'll be back. Definitely, we have a game against. I can't even speak anymore. We have a game against Colombia coming up next week, so we'll be doing a lot more of this stuff. So, as we used to always say on our old podcast, vamos Argentina. Have a good one, everyone.
Vamos.